most Christians around the world actually believe that the people occupying Israel today are the same as biblical Jews, and they'll actually use this phrase, the chosen people of God, referring to the nation of Israel, the geographic nation of Israel. So, but through my studies, God showed me different things. Not all, because what happens with research and study is that you don't learn everything one time in one go. They're like it's like a puzzle. You get different pieces of puzzles. So sometimes you pick up a book and you read a book and you get one piece of one puzzle piece. You watch a documentary and you get another puzzle piece. So one of the things I've learned is that those in Israel today are not biblical Jews, and actually one of the things that I didn't realize, that I should have realized even by looking, is that and I'm not saying all of them are like that, but these so-called Jews in Israel, some of them are Caucasian. Caucasians don't come from the Middle East. Jesus was from the Middle East, and so were the disciples and all the other Jews. They were from the Middle East, so they would have had dark skin. Okay, not Benjamin Netanyahu, whose real name is Benjamin Milkowski from Poland. So especially the leadership of the nation of Israel, they are not from the Middle East. They are Eastern European. So the question I wanted to answer is, who is Israel today? Genesis 32:28, and he said, "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed." So that's where the name or the word Israel comes from. It was actually Jacob, of which the name Jacob actually means supplanter or deceiver. And he actually, remember that in the Bible, a name denotes character, and Jacob actually deceived Esau on two occasions. So he stole Esau's birthright, and then also took his blessing as well. So the name Israel referred to an individual who was formerly known as Jacob. Hosea 11 verse 1, when Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. You see that? So Israel can be a person, but then Israel can be, when it says my son out of Egypt, it's talking about the Israelites as a nation, when God took them out of Egypt. Hosea 12 verse 12, and Jacob fled into the country of Syria, and Israel served for a wife. So this Jacob, because sometimes the Bible actually repeats itself in different ways. So here it's talking about Jacob, how he fled into the country of Syria, and then next part of that verse it talks about Israel served for a wife, and for a wife he kept sheep, and by a prophet the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, and by a prophet was he preserved. So now Israel is a person, an individual, but it can also be a nation as well. Galatians 3:29, and if ye be Christ's, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. So now we've moved into the New Testament, and Paul is telling us who Abraham's seed are, which is Israel, obviously. But who is Israel? It is said it's them that are Christ's. You can only be Abraham's seed if you be Christ. But the so-called Jews in Israel don't believe in Jesus. In the Talmud, they actually say some really disgusting things about Jesus, which I'm not going to repeat, but they don't believe in Jesus, okay? So how can they be the chosen people if they don't even believe in Jesus? And on top of the fact that they are not even from the Middle East, John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's one of the things that will show us who the real Israelites are, okay? Who the real Israel is. They will keep it. They'll love, not only love God or love Jesus, but keep his commandments as well. John 8:31, then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. So these so-called European Jews here, are they obeying God's word? Yeah. Are they following God's words and being true disciples? Answer is no. Zephaniah 3:13, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies. So right now, in 2025, we're in September 2025, we've had this genocide that's been going on in Palestine now since October 2023. And the lie is that, Hamas attacked Israel. Yet there are Israelis who have come out and said that actually they were told to stand down and leave their posts, their guard posts, which has never ever happened before. And also, there's seems to be evidence that some of the videos that we saw of the so-called Hamas soldiers attacking Israel, he said that some of that was actually AI. So yeah. But okay, let's just say Hamas attacked Israel. Well, Hamas was actually created by Israel and is actually funded by Israel. Okay, so and one of the reasons why they killed Yasser Arafat, and one of the first attempts to kill him was when they basically downed his plane, and he didn't die. He died later, I think, of poisoning, if I remember correctly. Was that PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, was a thorn in the side of Israel. So they decided to remove that and get Hamas to be the governing body. I don't know if that's what they call, but yeah, to be the ones in charge of the Gaza Strip and stuff like that, because that was created by Israel and is funded by Israel. Okay, so I'm saying that in reference to Zephaniah 3:13. He says the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity. So what about committing genocide? That's an iniquity, isn't it? So I'm just trying to show you that this is not the Israel that the Bible is talking about. This is a fake Israel. Remember, almost everything is upside down. In the world that we live in, almost everything is fake, and our history is fake. Most of it. You really have to dig deep for you to find the truth. Things that are said to be healthy for us are not healthy for us. The news is fake. It's propaganda. So don't believe everything. So let me read that again. Let me read the whole verse this time. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. And they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. So yes, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. All these lies about Hamas being in hospitals, hiding in people's houses and stuff like that, and that has caused all these, basically the whole of Gaza to be flattened. That's all lies. It says Israel won't do that. God's Israel won't do that. Basically, God's Israel are the remnant. Okay, I'll show that in the coming verses. Revelation 2:8. And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So there are some Christians who say that this verse actually applies to these European Jews, who in the Talmud they say that there's nothing wrong with abusing children, molesting children and stuff like that, and even committing and sacrificing children. So on top of the really bad things that they say about Jesus. So I was just saying that some Christians will say that this verse actually applies to these European Jews in Israel who have were given Israel, the nation of Israel in 1948 through Lord Balfour and the British government. So they claimed that they were from Israel, but they're not. They're from Europe, from a place that used to be called Khazaria, which is now modern day Ukraine. That's where most Jews are from. Some of them are from Poland, from other European countries. John 5:43, I am come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. You will receive. This is Jesus speaking, and he was actually prophesying. That's why I said that Jesus was also a prophet as well, but not just a prophet. He's the Son of God. He's the King of Kings, and he's also the Messiah and our priest in the heavenly sanctuary. So, but Jesus prophesied that he came in the Father's name, and the Jews didn't receive him. And I'm talking about the biblical Jews who were there at the time. He said, if another comes in his own name, him shall receive. He was talking about the papacy or the Caesars, okay? Because the popes took over the place of the Caesars. And then we see this being fulfilled in John 19:15. But they cried out, away with him, talking about Jesus. Away with him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priests answered, "We have no king but Caesar." Okay, so they rejected Christ and basically said they have no king. They rejected Christ as their king and said Caesar was their king, and God gave them their wish because uh, that's exactly what happened. Not only did the Roman Empire have Caesars, but the position of the Caesars was taken over by the popes. Okay, Galatians 3:29. Oh, I've already read that. Revelation 12:17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Now here are some of the characteristics of the remnant, which are God's Israel. Okay, this is they keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. And the last verse here, Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Eh, God's remnant will keep His commandments, and like we read in Zephaniah 3:13, they will not even be involved in telling lies and deception. So just because a certain nation is said to be God's chosen people, it does not make it so. Because remember how I said many times in my videos that the devil works through deception. That's actually his modus operandi. So almost everything is upside down, everything is fake, We're not to take things on face value. And there are even Christians apparently who donate money to the nation of Israel. But look at what they're doing right now. They're committing genocide. And I know that the Palestinians are not, most of the Palestinians anyway, it's apparently some Palestinians are Christians, a certain percentage. But most Palestinians are Muslims. But that still does not give anyone permission to go and murder and commit genocide just because someone else has a different belief to you. So the remnant of Israel, the true remnant, will not be seen to be doing such things. And remember, I've said many times in my video, the remnant, when Christ comes back to the earth, there are going to be 144,000 true Christians, the remnant of which make up the remnant of God. Those are the true Israel. And right now, as we are on this earth, right now, before that number is made up of the 144,000, the remnant or the true Israel are those who are keeping God's commandments and doing everything that God has commanded, who are not involved in telling lies and genociding others and stuff like that. So yeah, do your research. Don't obey the TV. Don't believe anything you see on TV. And in fact, for me personally, I stopped watching TV in 2011. So the time that I used to spend watching TV, I actually spend that, watching videos and doing research and stuff like that. To gain more knowledge and wisdom, and hopefully get myself ready, not only physically but spiritually and mentally for Christ's second coming. And I hope that you'll do the same as well.